And that's why I've struggled to verbally communicate. Like, I prefer to just write stuff down.
Okay. At least it comes out somewhere.
Yeah, like I write stuff down, I used to write poetry when I was in secondary school.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Friend.
I love you, but I might
No one knows that. It's
Did
mad.
you?
Exclusive here. Tried It podcast. We broke him. Hello and welcome to the Tried It podcast, where we discuss all things from millennial struggles to relationships and love and everything in between. I'm Maya.
I'm Jade.
And I'm Kedeishas.
And we have some guests with us today.
We do?
There we go. All right, go on. Take it
So
away.
I'm Shubbz, and I'm part of a podcast called Hustle Smart.
And you are?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'm Lex. I'm also part of the Hustle Smart podcast, so Shubbz and I do it together.
Okay.
And what's Hustle Smart about?
Yeah, so Hustle Smart is basically just, motivate and inspire kind of just young people of today and millennials, if you will, just to demonstrate and just to show people that you can come from anywhere, be any colour, any sexuality you want, but you can really make something of yourself no matter what by just making the right decisions and kind of doing the right things in your journey.
Yeah, and also educating people as well from like other people who are doing stuff that they want to do as well. So just sharing that knowledge as well.
Yeah, I remember I was listening, when I listened to the first one of you is like a financial advisor, another one of you is like in business strategy or something. So you guys have like a
Jade
lot
with the
to
memory.
offer. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like, you guys actually have knowledge to share. And I like that you guys were saying just by having conversations with people, you can learn so much from each other just because like, a lot of times we don't talk about the highs and the lows. We're missing out so much from that. So yeah, I really think what you guys are doing is a good idea.
Yeah, I listened to an episode today as well. I was saying before you got here, and I really, really enjoyed it. I listened to the one about finishing 2019 and about how like we don't often give ourselves credit for all of the achievements. We look at it day by day and we're like, I feel so shit. What have I done today? But when you look back, you're actually like, oh, hang on, I've done all right. And I can't remember, one of you was speaking to a mentor who's a woman.
Alex.
Oh,
And she was like just telling you like you've done loads of good stuff. Do you know what I mean? And I really liked that. Not that this is something like a biggie, but I like that your mentor's a woman, or one of your mentors is a woman. And I think that's really important as well, because a lot of the time men have a perspective of women in any dynamic, like business or any sphere, which is less than. So I really like that. That's a woman and you look up to them. And often you speak about women in your thing as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm here for it. I love it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Retweet.
Yeah, so on this episode we have two picks, so they've got a pick and then like we've got a pick, so we're going to discuss each one. And I've been eager to know what their pick is.
As
I just
she
like
is
to know
every week. Every week she'll tell us as soon as she can. As soon as we get in, she's like, right, this is what I'm talking about today. And we're like, it's supposed to be a surprise,
I'm
Jade.
trying to share, sharing the knowledge in that is what it's about. You're with me, right?
Can I just say I'm really excited because this is our first podcast collaboration.
Yeah,
So
it is.
Thank you guys for coming on, because this is kind of a big deal.
We've had a few people that have come on and then they've made actually podcasts themselves. But we've never
Afterwards,
actually,
We've inspired Bear Man.
Yeah.
We haven't actually got the love back. So.
Literally.
And I like that they're boys and we're girls.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's nice. Like we have a lot of ladies as well, and it's like it's always good to have that balance.
Definitely.
A lot of our audience is women, or like females, I should say, but the people who actually reach out to us are males. So it's a bit of a
Quite
funny
similar
one.
for us actually, because we have a lot of guys that listen.
Yeah.
But then we also have women
Most
that
of the interaction comes from women.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. I was going to say support, but I guess they're all supporting.
Yeah.
And I feel like a podcast for guys is actually really, really useful, because I feel like men are less, as we know, are less likely to reach out and speak about their feelings and things like that, or what things that are like highs and lows. So that's like a good area of like, if you have it there, they don't have to go and talk to them, they have to do anything. They could just listen to it from the comfort of their own home in private.
Dip in and out when they want.
Yeah.
Shall we go first or should we?
I want them to go first.
All right, go on.
We had two.
That's not allowed.
I told you to pick one.
No. I literally just thought of one on the way here.
Lex.
Why don't you tell us what both options are, and then
do
we'll
that.
decide what's going to be.
Well, my one was, would you rather be
Would you rather?
unhappy and rich, or poor and happy?
Okay, what was your one?
Mine was, to be fair, like, can everyone be an entrepreneur or not?
Oh, I
kinda
like that
this
one.
one.
To answer your question, I'd rather be rich.
They can tie in that.
Yeah. Because I think we have done one similar to Would You Rather Be Rich or
Okay.
That and
Yeah.
Happy before. We've done kind of similar stuff before.
The entrepreneur one really is a biggie for me because
This was our episode 1 as well.
Yeah.
We started on
this
this
is
conversation
I can't
a
believe
year
it.
ago.
Is this our first of 2019 as well?
Yes.
it's
Oh
not.
wait.
Okay,
Oh wait. No.
right.
You recorded last year, but it came out
Bring
this
us
year.
in. Yeah, so outside you said, what do we do and stuff. So I didn't go to university and I went and I became a personal trainer. And since then, I've just been doing my own thing, self-employed, PT, host retreats, host events, obviously my podcast as well. So for me, I've always been on the grind and about that life.
Yeah.
And all my friends when I went to university were like, oh my God, when I didn't go, they were like, what are you playing at? They all went to uni and all that kind of stuff. But then after they saw like me reaping the rewards, so to speak, they started messaging me and being like, oh yeah, so I don't feel like I want to go back to my last year, or I don't feel like I want to do this. Do you think I can just do this? I've got an idea, all of that kind of stuff. And I had so many of those conversations and I found myself saying, it's not for everyone. And that is not being horrible, but the work that you have to put in, I don't believe is for everyone. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. And I think it's become very trendy now to do the entrepreneur thing, have a side hustle and all of that. But it isn't something that people should just do. It's not for everyone, I don't think, personally.
Because I think in the beginning, I remember we were kind of talking about like, what do we class as an entrepreneur? Like, is someone that just has does like photography on like social media, they like an entrepreneur, or like how would you guys class an entrepreneur exactly?
Good question, Jade. Okay.
Very good question.
I would say an entrepreneur is someone that is just like they're not necessarily a sole trader, but they have a business and they're just working at that alongside their like day job. But then obviously you have a successful entrepreneur who eventually turns their side hustle into their main hustle. It's their main source of income, and that actually pays them, and they sit back and retire and just get all the money from it.
So my definition is a bit different. An entrepreneur to me is someone who takes risk and someone who has like the boldness to take risk. So it's more of a characteristic rather than what they have. So for example, a lot of people do have businesses, but some of that could be out of comfort because you're just good at it. But an entrepreneur is someone who's like, okay, this is me going against the grain and stuff like that. So it's someone who has the ability to take risk, even though they have a successful business. And a real entrepreneur will still say, okay, I've seen another come up and take another risk. Do you get what I mean?
Totally.
So that's kind of my definition, more within rather than what you have.
Do you think you're born an entrepreneur, or do you think you can learn it?
You don't learn it, but you're crafted into it.
Do you know what? I think that's like a nature nurture kind of question. I think that most people, genetics has a big part in it, and a lot of things like it can be like an underlying thing genetically is hidden somewhere, and then your environment can make it activate. Do you know what I mean?
Genetically, like creativity, you're just that natural kind of.
But then you can go through that, and then you suddenly like your families can hit hard times, and you might have to get a job or whatever, and then that might spark it. Or it can go the reverse, and you can be like, oh fuck this, I never want to do that. I just want to be somewhere where I'm secure and comfortable and. Do you know what I mean?
I think it depends a lot on what your parents have done, because obviously if you see them always working away and really like pushing themselves, that can make you feel more like motivated to kind of go out and really graft and don't just like be in a business working day to day 9 to 5, but you want to do something a bit more maybe.
That's a good point, because I was even telling Shubbz about this the other day. Basically, so my mum and dad, they weren't together when I was born, but like when I used to go see my dad, he's a lawyer. He would go to his day job and I'll follow him to his office, and I've like vivid memories him like soaring down laminated floor to put it down. Like after he done that, he'll be working some of his cases, and that's like,
Gosh.
and like he's actually taught me like what graft is. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel you when you lot say it's like your family and kind of what they show and stuff.
And I guess that does build on like that. Builds your character, isn't it? And I guess that the characteristics that you have that need to be like willing to take risks and like willing to, I guess, work hard, and the others be unsure and like kind of have that on your shoulders that this might not work out. So what are you gonna say?
I'm always a bit on the fence when it comes to like saying, oh yeah, I learned that from my family, or yeah, I got that from that, because it can always go either way. Like if you see your dad hitting your mum, you're either going to become a woman beater or you're going to cherish women. Like it can always go either way. So if you see your family coming up and they're struggling and they're not really like go-getters and hustlers and stuff, you can either continue that way and be that way, or you can be like, look, my family didn't have it, so I'm gonna go out and get it. So I don't think you can ever say this is why.
Environment does play a huge part in it as well. Like the people around you, when people are like just naturally into stuff like that, and those are the people you surround yourself with. You to sort of feel inclined to sort of do that, and like it might not be for you, but it might work out for you. But you being around people like that will push you to find out for yourself, if you get what I mean. Because a lot of people are just around certain people who have no interest in like, it might not, like, it's not really something I'll try because no one around me is doing it. So
and just to touch on your point where you highlight, there's many factors.
Yeah.
But like, for example, that memory of my dad, it's like whenever I can't be asked, I always think of that moment because he was tired. But also there's other factors. So for example, like my mum, like when I was in primary school, she was working 2 jobs. So it's like, okay, if my dad was doing that, my mum was doing this, what reason do I have not to do anything kind of thing? My environment, like I didn't grow up in the best area. Do you know what I mean? Like obviously there's all these stuff going on. It's just like, okay, cool. I've got my mum and dad, they're doing this. And my environment, it's like, hey, this is their work ethic. This is my environment. Why would
It's
I
like
then...
a triangle.
Yeah, it's like a triangle. It's like, why would I want to...
Be the odd one out.
Yeah, kind of thing. So...
Do you think as males, it differs to be an entrepreneur for females? Because like you said, entrepreneur, I believe as well, is about going against the grain, taking risks and stuff.
Yeah.
Men are more predisposed to do that than women. However, women are better at multitasking and diversifying. So...
I think women are like the best entrepreneurs. Just like a lot of them have skills.
Drop mic.
I disagree.
No,
There's a reason.
Hey.
No. I disagree. There's a reason.
No, but I just mean maybe in our generation. The reason why I say that
Shubbz
is
can come back.
the reason why I say that is because a lot of females sort of have a lot of skills and they make something out of it from like a very young age. So, but guys, I don't know. It plays both ways. But in what I'm saying is that like females, they start doing makeup for themselves and they get good at it. And they sort of build that confidence to do for their friends and then start doing it. They do with nails, with all these kind of things. And with guys, it's like, oh, what do I do as an entrepreneur? Do I start a clothing line or do I...
No, they rap.
Yeah, exactly. So, so it's quite... So
Some work.
so women just from an early age just start getting into entrepreneurship and stuff like that. Whereas guys, they might sort of get a bigger idea when they're much older. And that's why it might take them further because... But at the end of the day, it's all relative, your success.
The reason why I disagree, because I think one, women are like stereotypically,
Good, thank you.
Yeah, well done.
Women are just too emotional, but men don't have that like emotional
why it's
psyche.
easier for them to take risks.
But
I
think,
think about it.
But I think the two together, if you have a man and a woman, and they pair up to make a business, that'd be crazy.
Because then you've got all angles covered.
Yeah.
I have had that. My best friend and I, we started a business together.
Yeah.
And it went really, really well for those reasons.
Yeah.
He was very like logical, money, this, and I was very like creative, ideas, all that kind of stuff. But what can happen with that is the communication and the interpretation.
Yes.
Like he would just call me and be like, yeah, have you done that? Cool. And I would be like, are you all right? Like, you need to ask me how my day was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because
I'm like that as well.
it's like, there's just, but then as a woman and as each other, it's different people as well. You've got to learn how to speak each other's language. And that's when it can break down if you're not willing to do that.
And when Alex said emotion, my thing is females have better emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So that means they're able to build teams better. They're able to build people better. They're able to have people who are more willing to work for them. Whereas with guys, it's more ego. Do you get what I mean?
Totally.
The communication and the way they lead they're the boss rather than the leader or don't know how to manage you. So I don't know. It depends. But like Alex said, when you have both people together, or you have like a female manager and a male CEO or stuff like that, it sort of works better. But I don't know, it's a tricky one because like even though guys are so focused and clear, like stuff like that, there's always areas where they lack where females would probably be much better at.
And even in a position of like being taken seriously, that's the thing I was like getting towards as well.
That's what I was thinking. Because even at like Kedeishas Facebook event, that you posted this thing that said that women will only apply for jobs or whatever that they feel that they're like really overqualified for. Because so I feel like that's the same with kind of like an entrepreneurial venture. Women are already like second guessing themselves, like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. So it's like then to do that, and then if you're worried about failing, like I've just proved everyone right. Like I feel like women are probably scared off of doing it.
And this is one of the reasons why I have so much respect from like my mentor who's a female. One, because she kind of taught me how to actually use and exploit my emotional intelligence, and two is the fact that she doesn't care.
How does she communicate these qualities to you?
she connects to me, like, she will, as corny as it sounds, she will connect with me on a personal level. So, like, if I'm annoyed one day, like, she would say, all right, cool, let's meet up. She'll sit me down, but she'll look into my eye and be like, what's going on?
Aww.
I'll answer a question, she'll be like, you're lying. What's going on? Like, she will drill me, ask me the same thing, what's going on? And then she'll literally, like, extract everything that I have a problem with. And then she will then synthesize for herself and then relay it back to me. And I'm like, oh, right, yeah, this and this and this, all this was wrong. Like, this is what I need help with. So she kind of taught me how to do that with people. And like, even with like Shubbz, like, I'm sure Shubbz can vouch for this, like, I'm very good at like working and building connections with people, you know what I'm saying? Just because of like what I've learned from her. But and if you look at her like not even her management style, but just how she kind of operates within the workplace, like, she doesn't care if she's sitting in a boardroom with like 5-10 men. Do you know what I mean? She doesn't care what these people are thinking. She'll put her foot down and, you know, she'll say what she needs to say. And she'll say it in like, she wouldn't necessarily be overbearing, but she speaks with command. She speaks with authority, do you know what I'm saying?
What colour is she?
She's white.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you think she can be an entrepreneur?
100%.
Is she not one already?
No.
Oh, right, okay.
No. She was my old manager, so I used to work with her when I was on my placement, yeah.
But my thing as well, going back to the question, not everyone can be an entrepreneur. Not everyone can be an entrepreneur, but some people could be like an entrepreneur. So you can be someone who is working for an entrepreneur in a sense. Like, everyone wants to start a business, but some people don't understand that, okay, Shubbz is an entrepreneur. Let me team up with him or let me work with him because I have the skill. And that way we're in business together and she can have her own business, but it's like everyone's together. Like, I see so many people starting the same thing, whereas they can just team up and make something much better. So like,
but that comes back into ego.
Yeah. So in a sense, not everyone can be an entrepreneur, but some people can be involved in business and in entrepreneurship in a sense.
I think
that one sounds more like me.
Because I feel like it's the kind of thing where, like, a lot of times business knowledge is kind of more common sense, or it's not like putting it down like it's definitely not easy, but it's kind of like stuff that you can't be taught. It's like you need to get to know the market, like you need to see like where your product lies in the market or where you are in relation to your competitors, and like how to give people what they need, and like social media and all that stuff. So in the sense, like, we have the internet and we can learn so much from that. So really and truly, if you really wanted to, you know, people can do it themselves. And even if they wanted to do like a little course here and there or something, like there's so much available now. So in that sense, I do feel like everyone could do it. But yeah, it is so much stress that I think it could drive a lot of people mad. Like, people have mental breakdowns, people lose their houses, their homes. Like, it's crazy. And if you want stability, like, that's just definitely not for you.
I would also say that I think that to start a business, you have to have a passion. I don't think it's possible to do it successfully without that passion, because like you said, Jane, it is a lot of work and you do have to really be committed to the graft, but you're not going to be unless you have a passion towards it.
When you say passion, do you mean passion for like
money?
I don't think it is money.
That's what I was thinking.
I think money is a
it's
byproduct.
like belief in
But what I thought you were gonna say was passion for the business or passion for
the idea,
business.
Because was it you that said if you have a
business.
business that's not making money, it's a hobby?
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Is that you? Yeah. See, I do agree with that. I do agree with literally. I agree with that. But I just feel like it's like I relate it to exercise. Like, personally, I don't train people so that they can look great. It's for their their health, and looking good as a byproduct. And that's how I see a business. It's like, you're gonna make money, but you're gonna get your mission out there or your product, whatever.
Charity.
It is.
No.
You
What
will
she's
make
saying
money
is
though, because
money is a byproduct, which is true. Money is a byproduct of value. So you're giving value.
Totally.
But what I'm saying is, so many people have businesses, not even to throw shade, but it's not making money because it's just an Instagram page. When I started off with Review Plug, it was just an Instagram page. It was just giving people reviews. It was just showing people what to watch on Netflix and stuff like that. And of course, I started it as a business but you won't make money straight away. But unless I started monetizing it through different avenues, it will still just be a hobby to this day. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the same, like, people start pages and it's like, of course you won't get the money straight away, but always have a way of monetizing it, or always look out for the opportunities to monetize it.
But does everything you do have to be monetized.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
But if you're
Business
starting a
isn't a business.
business, then let it be
okay.
monetized.
I think it should in every way. But
Couldn't-
only because that keeps your interest and your value and the value towards the end thing.
Yeah, and if you're bringing value, you have to get something in return. That's how the market works.
With the
Business isn't a business unless it's financially viable. Like it has to have an inflow and outflow.
And with the passion thing,
Why did you ask that?
I hear it. I hear it. But like, for example, the reason why let me give you an example. So I'm trying to build an app for the hair and beauty industry. Yeah. Do I have like an insane passion for hair and beauty, for female hair and beauty? No.
But that's where the money's at.
But I know a lot about
You
it,
saw a niche.
and I
That's
saw
what
a
entrepreneurs
gap.
do as well. They
But what I'm
find
saying, I don't have a passion for it. I want to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I don't want to make a lot of money doing nonsense. I want to solve an actual problem that people.
Yeah, but I would say
suffer.
that's where your passion
Yeah.
lies.
Yeah.
in. You're passionate about solving a problem,
Yeah.
which people are faced with potentially.
Ah,
Or,
okay,
do you know
yeah.
what I
And
mean?
you got a
There's
point.
some emotional something.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
if you go, like, if you get any roadblocks, you have a passion big enough for you to go through
Exactly.
it. Some people start things and because the passion is not that big, they're like, you know what, can't be asked. Like, it's too much stress
Yeah.
and stuff.
When things get tough, it's easy to give up.
100%. I went to a talk once and it was by someone who's big in Coca-Cola, and he was saying that like we don't buy things for function ever. Like, because if we did, then Rolex would be out of business because we can get a watch for £8. But the emotional attachment is what makes you spend bags. So that's from then I realised everything has an emotional attachment. No matter how it's placed, it
it's
has
true.
to be.
No, it's true. It's true.
Should we do ours?
That's scary. To
Yeah.
think that.
But so what's our question? What's our answer, real quick? Can everyone?
Can
No.
anyone be an entrepreneur?
No.
No, I don't think so. Anyway.
And there's no problem. with
Go
being
on, Jay.
there's no
I don't
problem.
I don't know. I'm gonna say yes if they want it enough. Yeah.
I think everyone can be an intrapreneur, like
Yeah.
you said, which is a
Yeah.
lovely term I haven't heard of before now.
Yeah.
I think everyone can be that.
Yeah.
But that requires, again, a lack
Yeah.
of ego and you need to humble yourself.
Yeah, and
I think everyone
Entrepreneurism is not
can
for
be,
everyone.
but
There's
not
no
everyone will
problem
want
with
to
that.
be.
I don't think everyone can be.
and not everyone should want to be.
Yeah.
Like, there's no problem, like I said, being an entrepreneur, helping someone else's dream come
Yeah.
alive. and
It'll
with
throw
that,
the
you're-
world out of balance.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
And just quickly go around rich and unhappy, poor and happy. You go first.
I'd rather be rich and unhappy.
Not
That's
in
my
a
answer.
not in a hippie way, but poor but happy.
Me too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
poor but
yeah.
happy, sure.
Because
Give me the money. Run me my money.
Happy, but if you're happy, then what's the problem? If you're
Same.
happy, that's all.
I'd
that
rather
matters,
be
isn't it?
I'd rather be stressed in the mansion, warm, my Lambo, my
But-
Range.
But anyways,
Then
you don't have to
it's
pick
just in
between
the
the
chat.
two if you do it right.
There you
Nah,
go.
it's true.
Hey.
Still.
That's
I like him.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right,
Let's
yeah,
do
cool.
our one.
We wanted to discuss emotions among men.
Okay.
Oh God.
You are the Kedeishas of the group.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. You are that. All right, so we start off with a question that we have. Are men less emotional or less reactive than women,
Okay.
in your opinion?
Firstly, men are more reactive, but on a larger scale, females react to everything. So it's a bit weird. Maybe men react more, but not females react like to everything. If you get what I mean. So
Yeah.
Okay.
maybe men are more
So
grand.
yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
So the amount they react is
Yeah.
more, but they just do it less frequently.
Yes. So that's my answer to it. Because like men when they come across a situation, even between guys, like they can get angry over anything. Do you get what I mean? So that's them reacting.
But
Whereas
they wouldn't
females-
necessarily vocalize
Yeah.
it. They'll just explode.
Yeah.
Like, no, fam, calm, fam.
Yeah. Do you get what I mean?
Not even angry still.
Exactly, and that's a reaction. Do you get what I mean? But
Yeah.
with females, like they could just see something that pisses them off and they can speak up about it. So maybe men are not as vocal. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But with you said, are they less emotional?
I said less emotional or less reactive.
Yeah, I don't think men are less emotional. They're just not as vocal.
They
as
internalize.
females.
I think they
Yeah,
internalize
so
a
much.
lot of their emotions, and they let it build up, and then they just.
Yeah. So would you say proof for that is obviously like suicide rates among men?
Yeah, and even just like men just get like even like not saying crime, but guys getting into fights because that's all emotion, and if you're unable to control that, that's how like someone doing something that offends you leads you to fights and stuff like that. Because guys can get really emotional, and they think emotion is just like lovey-dovey kind of stuff, but it's how you react to situations. You know what I mean?
Stereotypically.
Yeah.
And I can definitely testify for this. Guys think showing emotions weak.
I was just about that was my next thing.
And like, I used to believe that like showing emotion is weak. Obviously, I've grown to like now understand it's not necessarily weak. It's just part of like human nature.
Yeah.
However, I can't do it.
You can't show emotion.
No.
Just because of
Like-
situations that happen in life.
It's just, yeah, it's
that's
just
what makes
because.
What do you mean you
situations.
can't show emotion?
So like, obviously, I can show that I'm like happy. I can show that I'm sad and all that stuff. But
You still
You
can't
can't talk
vocalize.
about it.
I don't usually vocalize my issues. Like if I'm dealing with it.
Do you think that's
good.
maybe why you have a female mentor, because you feel more comfortable saying it to a woman?
Oh!
I took to no shrink. Nah. But maybe, maybe. But like, for example, I don't show empathy. I find it so difficult. And when I try to, it's just like, there's something in my brain, it just goes blank. Like, nah, it's not happening.
That's definitely a common thing among men.
Yeah. My thing is I make more of a conscious effort. So like, for example, empathy, like a lot of me too in situations where things happen and it's like, oh, get over it, or you can make it work and stuff like that. Because I'm not that I'm hustle, good positivity, but it's like when situations happen, because I know that it's not that deep in the grand scheme, but if someone's feeling that type of way, they're entitled to feel that type of way. And you can't tell someone how to feel or stuff like that. So it's like I make a conscious effort not to like throw my positivity like life could be worse. To get so you don't feel anything, because that's why maybe I'm not as emotional or like as vocal, because I'm like, you know what, oh shit, that hurt, but like life could be worse, because that's just the
To me, it's
mindset
just
I
not
have.
that deep.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
if somebody says something to you that, just doesn't sit right, or you take a bit of offense to it, or how are you going to react in that situation?
It depends. It depends on what it is, if I'm honest with you. But more time, like, if someone says something that I don't like, I'll be like, what are you doing? Like, I'll just call you out on it. Do you know what I mean? Because I just don't really care.
Yeah. That's my thing. Like, in all honesty, there's like, I don't know what's happened in my life, but like I honestly don't care about majority of the things. I promise you. Like,
Teach me.
There's hardly.
I think because you just had bigger things to worry about. Than,
like,
at this point, you're
honestly,
just like
you just my thing is when you put everything on like a scale
In perspective.
when you see like what's really important, like it's like all these things don't really matter, and it's like
I'm really trying to learn how to pick my battles.
Yeah.
And what to get worked up about and what, because otherwise I'd just be an emotional wreck.
and I feel like that's what's really saved me from being emotional, in a sense of getting like upset over everything and stuff like that. Like when I grew up, I was a bit like I used to be quite sensitive, and like things would like I would really take things deeply and stuff like that. But over time, you just really notice that what someone says or what they think about you doesn't really matter, because like everyone's gonna have opinions and stuff like that. But like when it comes to like being understanding emotions and stuff like that, like it's not natural for maybe guys like us or guys in general. But like some people make an effort and some just don't care and just leave.
I disagree, So there's some guys who are just mad sensitive. They just take everything to heart.
No, I'm talking empathy.
Background
emotional.
has something to do with it.
110%.
I thought that was coming.
Because like what someone would find, what the average person would find shocking, I'm just like, nah, it's normal. Not that deep.
Do you think like why do you think like men? Because I think there's a stereotype that men in general just have a lot less like, or like show a lot less emotional. I don't know if it's true that they actually feel less emotional. Like, why do you think that is?
Because females think men show emotions the same way they do.
Yeah.
Which is totally wrong.
So true.
Like, don't expect me like showing my love or being annoyed over something the same way you show your love or show you're annoyed about something. And it's like, people don't
That's
want.
what I can't get my head around.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think why is it so different?
Because everyone has expectations and everyone thinks people are the same way they are, and no one wants to understand that. As soon as you can understand that, okay, this is how Shubbz is, and this is how Shubbz shows he's happy, or this is how Shubbz shows he's annoyed, or shows he loves me and stuff like that. It's like you're not gonna really get, because you're gonna think, okay, like when I show someone I love them is by me saying nice words and stuff like that. So when they do that to me, that's them showing they love me, or they show they're annoyed at me and stuff like that.
Do you guys know your love languages?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I learned mine off my sister. It's like, I
Became aware of.
became aware because of my
Yeah.
sister.
What are they, both of you?
Man's more acts of service,
Okay.
because I don't really believe words. Like,
Okay, fine.
Yeah, mine's physical touch and gift.
Okay.
So like for example, like if I like you as a person, I'll put my arm around you, or like I'll just do that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And like I'll give you gifts and that. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's really important to know as well, obviously. Because then you can really
manage
work with,
expectations.
exactly, and just like operate. But I totally understand what you're saying about how I have actually just come to accept that, and I'm really good at that now. I can just like if I'm having a problem with my boyfriend, I will just know. We are different.
It's
like,
such a long
I'm never
process,
gonna make
though,
you
don't you think?
understand.
Like it is hard to understand that. It's a really,
This is why I'm single.
it's a really long
Boy.
process to understand that. Like you
Oh
can
my
get
God.
annoyed over everything, but like honestly, like, as soon as you come to that understanding, like even with just not even partners, just in general, friends and
just
stuff
in
like
general.
that,
Yeah,
it
totally.
makes life so
But,
much
like,
easier.
my friends think they think I'm just screwed in the head because what they'll get annoyed at, I'm just like, just leave me alone. It's not that deep. Like, leave me alone.
I need to have that
Like
level of
nothing.
zen.
Like there's like no things. There's 9 times out I wouldn't find it that deep.
But it also depends as well because you have to do it in a way like where you're not dismissing.
Yeah,
someone's
exactly.
annoyance.
Sometimes I
Yeah.
do. Sometimes I do it like that. It's like, oh yeah, they're just so rude, just so blunt, blah blah. But it's
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. Like I know I can be rude sometimes, but it's because I'm blunt and I don't care.
Okay.
That's
Sounds
the
like
thing.
Kedeishas Shout.
That does
doesn't
sound
it?
like
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Shit.
Yeah.
Because for
That's
me,
so
like
funny.
some things are I'm very logical.
I feel like
Yeah.
he's worse than me though.
And if
Yeah.
if it's
don't
not
know,
if it's
I'm
not
joking.
logical, if it's not logical, and it just doesn't make sense. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But then
But as
isn't
long
it like
as if people around you respect that about you,
Yeah.
you need to respect it about them.
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
their
I do
thing.
respect
And
it.
then that's fine.
I don't
It is
like
what
it,
is.
but I respect it.
I was like, isn't it like a two-way thing? So obviously you guys are like, right, well, this is me, like you should learn to be the way I am then. But isn't it like a two-way thing where it's like if they are different and they are very vocal about it, you also have to be like, make an effort to meet them halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's things in like in your personality that just doesn't change, and they're just so ingrained in you.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like for example, my lack of empathy.
Oh, okay, I see. But
my
can't you
lack
work
of
on
em-
those
I'm
things?
very.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm not an enthusiastic person.
Yeah.
So like I don't go walk around smiling all the
Yeah.
time. I'm not like like happy go lucky. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like when like, for example, if I see my sister, like I live with my sister, so she comes and see me, she's like, oh my god,
Yeah, some people just have the energy.
I'm just like, yo, you saying like
Oh,
good?
wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Jeez.
It's like
Yeah,
those
I
two
get
things
that,
are just,
actually.
just not can't change.
Yeah, but I think it's just having that mutual understanding.
Yes.
Like once you both
Yeah.
understand, or you and your friends understand that, okay, this is how this person is, and okay, this is how they are. So it's like no one's right, no one's wrong. Do you get what I mean? It's like okay, that's how they are, and now they've explained that to me, and I get it,
Yeah.
and they see where I'm coming from, and I see where they're coming
Totally.
from. Because that's just how it is. Like there's so many times like where people have like misunderstandings and miscommunications and stuff like that. It's like no one wants to see that how the person feel is how you made them feel, but
Totally.
doesn't mean they're right. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, and also all that comes from a place. Like
Yeah.
I feel like for me, when you understand why a person is that way, it makes it a
Yeah.
lot easier to cope with
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
bad
Yeah, I
sides or
agree,
whatever
I
it
agree.
is.
You can almost be
know what I
more
mean?
objective about
Totally,
it. Like,
yeah.
am I going to handle this or is this worth
Yeah,
like...
and you just write off certain behaviours because you're just
Yeah.
like, okay, I know that they do that because of that.
Yeah.
Cool, I'm accepting that. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you come to a time when you've understood about emotions, but you're still not yourself there yet. Do you think that means there's been a shift among men? You said it, by the way.
What did I say?
About how you know that like men need to. It's not weak to.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
weak. It's not
So
weak.
do you think that there's been a shift in attitude about
Yeah.
emotions among men?
Yeah,
because
I
I definitely think there
I
has.
think
they have.
like men or like society has become more accepting of the
Accepting,
fact that men can be more in touch with their feminine side. Do you know what I'm saying?
And
so
that's
I think
because-
that's why it's much more acceptable for men to actually go on a platform and talk
Yeah.
and spill their
Yeah.
like their emotions out. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like-
When more guys are speaking about it, it makes it like, okay, cool, this is now becoming
Yeah.
the norm. Do you get what I mean? But before, like everyone's just crying in silence.
Like I'll give you this is
Oh,
like slightly off.
That was so
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, like, this is slightly off tangent, but like for example, I done like one brief beard documentary, yeah, and as soon as I like put it up, I got a message. Oh, right, you go through that too. Oh yeah, I do this. Is what you know what I'm saying. It's just like when you see someone else doing it, it's
100%.
like oh yeah, they're calm. Like it's,
Yeah.
you connect. Do you know what I'm
It's
saying?
like any form of representation.
Yeah,
I guess.
exactly.
Have you
exactly.
noticed among your friends or people that you know that there's more people talking about their emotions, or like you just notice that they're more willing to kind of share anything that's going on?
Maybe guys are more vocal about it. I don't know if this relates, but one time, yeah, Like,
this is becoming a real spill.
I like this.
Isn't it? It's great.
but one time, so basically, at second year uni, I started saying like "love you" to my mum and to my sisters and siblings and stuff. Yeah, and like obviously something happened to make me start saying "love you" because like you can't be silent. Like people gotta get them
100%.
flowers and stuff. That's how the saying goes. But basically,
Give them
like,
flowers while they can smell
yeah,
it.
2 weeks ago, I said "love you" to my sister on the phone, and my friend was next to me. It's like, what, you say that to your siblings? I'm like, yeah. Like, obviously, I understood he didn't because that's why I said it. But I'm like, yeah, like, I just feel like you should. And but he's like, oh, raw, like, why don't you say it to me? Then I said, love you. And he's like, cool. And
That is lovely.
and then, like, 2 weeks ago, I tried it again and I said, love you. And he's like, yeah, like, give me a spot and love her. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro?
But
Like,
boys say love.
Yeah, they
No,
do.
do you know what,
they
boys
don't
do
say
love,
love you,
love,
though.
love, love,
They don't
love.
say love you, though.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they don't say love
It's
you,
just
though.
love.
Yeah.
I only have like two boys like who say love you to me. Like,
Or
two
if they do, they'll
girlfriends.
even try and make it less of a love you, my guy.
Yeah,
like that
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
laugh
yeah.
Or
it
when they used to
off.
be
Or they'll
like, no,
say
no,
it
no,
when
They make it
they're
more
talking
macho.
about
I
you.
wanna say you're
They'll
my
say it when they're
best
talking
friend and
about
I love
you.
you.
Yeah.
That's what you really want to
Yeah,
say.
because like, but yeah, fam, I will never, I will never tell our boys I love them. Never.
Wait, wait.
But really-
Do you have any boys that you two love?
Yeah, like as in, like the people that you see me around, like as in. You know what I'm saying?
Say it.
Come on.
Like,
To the camera and tell them. Now's your moment.
like, the people that you see me around, like I you know what I'm saying?
Go on.
Cool. Yeah, like I love them, do you know what I'm saying? But that's because like
Love to see
How
it.
did that feel? Tell us.
But like, for me, I'll never say that because it's just not in my character, but I will show it through the things that I
Gifts
do.
and
Like I'll
physical
check up
touch.
on you, do you know what I'm saying? Like, as in when I was in, I think I even told Shubbz, when I was in uni, like three of my boys, I always make sure they're all right. If one of them was sick, I'll make sure I say, yo, like take your medicine, do this, do you know what I'm saying? Have you eaten? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
You were about to say something. Yeah.
yeah, like, why do you find it hard to say love you?
Yeah.
Go on.
It's just foreign to me, man. Like, I'm like, why am I saying that?
Do you tell anybody?
Nah.
Ah.
Do you know
Like, it's
what?
like,
But
I'll
I
just.
find it weird as well because I mean, when growing up, like me and my family just didn't say it. Like,
Yeah, we
it
never
was not
said
something
it.
that we
Yeah.
said. But as I got older,
Yeah.
I've like kind of gotten more used to it. Like, obviously, when I had a partner, and then like with friends, I'm more kind of willing now. I'm older
Yeah.
to kind of just say it all the time.
Like,
It was hard for me to say it because my dad never used to say it. Even if he had to, like, if he had to say it, he'd be like, you know, we love you, and he would always
Yeah.
say it and like, so he didn't like have to say it. Do you know what I mean? And like hugging and that, you just would never do those kind
never
of things.
hugged.
So that was weird for me. But then I got all that love from my mum. But when I had a boyfriend, it was like, oh, so okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
This is what
think,
we do.
like for me, like my obviously I didn't live with my dad. My dad, I remember the first time my dad actually hugged me like as a grown guy, you know what I'm saying? I think I was like either 16, 17 years old. And I've realized that he would never ever say,
It's awkward for
Yeah.
him.
he doesn't say, he wouldn't never say I love you. The guy don't even say please and thank you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But he will show his love by like for example, if I'm like not revising or something, you ask him, oh, do you want to be a bum?
Yeah.
That's him
Yeah,
showing.
yeah.
It's like, fix up. Do you know what I'm
Tough
saying?
love.
Yeah, tough. But I honestly, yeah, like we just like. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even want to bring down the mood, but when you understand that they can pass away, you
100%.
don't want to
Yeah,
hold it.
Yeah,
back.
that's true.
yeah.
And that's why we started. I don't know. That's why I started saying it.
Yeah.
And then like they not that I made everyone start saying it, but they were also saying it and stuff like that. And like I feel like when we all started saying it made my dad want to start saying it more. And
Yeah.
he'll start saying it before I do. Do you go? I mean,
Makes it
he's
more
hanging off
normal.
the phone and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I feel like it's just breaking that down. Like a lot of guys just want to be like, oh yeah, let's just keep our emotions. They know I love them and stuff like that. But when you say it, I don't
When
know.
my
I
brother
guess-
tells me I love you, it
means a
hits
lot,
a
innit?
different
Yeah,
part.
I'm
yeah.
still waiting for that day, boy.
That's the thing.
I
when
only get it from
someone
one.
doesn't say it, like when someone doesn't say it, like when they do say it, you're like, oh
Yeah.
my god,
Literally.
Yeah.
Um,
Like my sister,
She's like, cut it.
she always
I
hugs.
feel Alex is trying.
No, she
No,
always,
no, you've done well
like,
still.
my sister always hugs me. I don't hug her back in it. And then
Oh,
one
so
time
it's
I
like
did.
this
while she's hugging you.
Yeah, like one time I did. She was like, "Oh my god."
yeah, that's what I'm like. With my brother, on the rare occasion, I'm just like, I don't want to
Not
film
even
it.
on her birthday.
No.
Wow.
But it's just a weird one because like my dad wasn't overly emotional.
Yeah.
My mum. I wouldn't say my mum was overly emotional because she had to always appear as if she
Strong,
was
mum
yeah,
and
strong. Do you know
dad.
what I'm saying? So I never really learnt even how to express my emotions. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think that's why I've struggled to verbally communicate. Like I prefer to just write stuff down.
Okay. At least
Or-
it comes out somewhere.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
write stuff down. Yeah. So I used to write poetry like when I was in secondary school.
Oh my
Alex.
Off brand.
To the point, going on.
I love you, but I'm like, poetry on the side.
No one knew that. No one knows that. It's
Did
mad.
you actually?
Exclusive
Yeah,
here. Tried it podcast. We broke him.
But that's because I just had a lot on my mind. I was like, you know what,
Let me get it out
So
somehow.
therapeutic.
I've never been a
Did you
poetry
just
girl.
used to
but-
write it and keep it?
Yeah, well, I'll just write it, read it, keep it for a bit, and dash it away.
Oh.
Or sometimes just write out, not even a nice poem. I just write that shit out and then it's done. It's out. You've
Yeah.
like expressed it.
Yeah,
Feel
I
better.
started journaling last year and that was quite good.
Oh, I'm a big advocate for journaling.
It's quite good.
Yeah.
If you have a son, will you raise them in a different way, emotion-wise, to what you were? Because you said like your dad wasn't overly emotional and stuff like that.
That's a good question.
I'd communicate to him that it's okay to show your emotion. Just don't be a little bitch about it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, don't be like a crybaby. Don't
You're
Yeah,
about to Kevin
I
Hart
guess.
like
us this
hold
Tried
it. Just
podcast.
like hold it. Hold it together.
Like you
But-
want to like be strong, but show your
Yeah,
emotions.
be
still.
strong, but communicate your emotions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Just
communicate them. Don't go.
don't
But
be a
are you
crybaby.
going to do that though? Because you can't just.
Yeah, I'll be
just
like,
say
listen,
that.
like I said, listen, like if you're feeling something, if you're feeling the type of way, it's okay. It's
And
okay
I'm
to
feeling
cry.
like.
Yeah, like sometimes I feel sad. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes.
If you are feeling sad, it's okay to cry.
Okay.
Just
cool.
don't be crying
Just
5
cry
days
in
a
your
week.
room by
Okay,
yourself
yeah.
You know what I'm
when no one
saying?
else can see. Go back to it in 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, I would. Like, and it's like if you don't want to cry in front of anyone, it's all right.
But
Go
you
to your
didn't say
room,
that he
cry in
doesn't
the
want
corner.
to. He
Do you know
might
what I'm
want to
saying?
cry in front of everyone.
Yeah.
No, if he wants to cry in front of everyone, to make sure it's like in front of like 3 people.
Oh my god.
He said about 4 people got to hold it in. Someone's got to leave.
I'm more of a like lead by example and show them, if you get what I mean. So like I have a niece and like I love my niece to death and like she's honestly melted my heart. Maybe like that's why I am
Yeah.
where I am now. But like I know when I have a son, that's the next level of love and
Yeah.
just showing them that love and communicating with them and also like being able to say like if I've done something wrong, I'm gonna apologize and stuff like that and say that they're like, oh dad, what's the matter today? Oh yeah, I'm quite upset this happened and stuff like that. And maybe through just showing them that, they're like, okay, like when my dad's upset, he speaks about it rather than
100%.
internalizing it. So maybe that's how I can show them. But
Yeah.
I mean, like I won't be telling like oh yeah, like when you're upset, like it's okay to cry and stuff like that. Like maybe if they're holding it and stuff like that, but by showing, by leading by example. and
Because
showing
if you
them,
if you get to the point where you can communicate, I don't think you need to. Cry.
Yeah.
I won't let my son
Really?
see me cry. Can't lie.
It's not
Okay.
literally just
It's
crying.
two steps
It's
No,
forward
but
and 8 back.
you know what I mean?
I don't even like to cry.
Yeah.
I hate crying.
She does.